Today's highlights: miners' profits are declining, but they haven't sold off yet. With stablecoins surpassing $160 billion, is Bitcoin gearing up for a rebound? The US state government is stepping in directly. Texas is buying the dip with $5 million in Upbit. Can this save Bitcoin? SpaceX has transferred 1,163 Bitcoins. Does this mean Elon Musk is about to sell? Friday, November 28th, this is the BTB Chinese channel. Where is Beyond? I'm Michael. Let's first take a look at the most important 24-hour data summary in the crypto world. Global liquidity has really started to warm up again recently. First, in the US, expectations for interest rate cuts are heating up, while China continues to roll out stimulus measures. Japan and Europe are also ramping up fiscal support. With all these policies working together, it feels like the market is about to be injected with fresh liquidity again. Many people still like to keep an eye on M2, which is the total amount of cash plus deposits, to guess where this money is likely to flow. In the past 5 years, the correlation between Bitcoin and M2 has been around 0.5. Especially during tightening cycles, this index basically becomes disconnected. At best, it serves as background information, but it can't be used as a compass. To really see whether money is flowing into Bitcoin, you still have to look at the total supply of stablecoins. This year, ERC-20 stablecoins have surged to a new high of $160 billion in one go. It's like sending a message to the entire market. The crypto market's cash pool is now filled to the brim with stablecoins, which are undoubtedly the underlying fuel for SpotDex derivatives. So once the supply increases, the market usually heats up quickly. On the other hand, if the supply stops, the market will cool down immediately. Now, what signal does the record high total amount of stablecoins send? It means that the money is already lined up at the door, ready to go. As soon as the market lights up, they'll rush in all at once. Chasing the rally, the IBCI has, after 2 years, fallen back into the accumulation zone. It's as if the market has hit a reset button, with the foundation completely intact. Next, there are 2 things to watch: whether the IBCI index can climb back above the 50% mark, and whether Bitcoin can hold steady above $75,000. If we look at the historical pattern, this kind of drop back into the accumulation zone is often just a deep squat before the main upward surge, a warm-up. The current pullback looks more like a consolidation, not a crash, but a build-up of momentum. If the IBCI gets stuck below 50%, then the market is likely to cool down and enter a bear phase. But if it breaks through, then we're looking at a scenario where it aims for new highs. What's even more crucial, institutions have been reducing their positions at low levels, so right now this area feels like a strategic discount zone. It's just that both the bulls and bears are arguing fiercely, but once the direction becomes clear, I think the script for Butcher is still to move upward. Alright, let's take a look at the fate of Bitcoin miners. Right now, the miners NUP is dropping to 0.29. What does that mean? It means there's still a tiny bit of profit left, but profits are shrinking all the way, and it's already approaching the life or death line where it makes no difference whether they earn or not. So at this point, if the price takes another dip, miners could rush to cash out at any moment, turning the market into a roller coaster. What's even more telling, this month, miners sent 195,000 Bitcoins to Binance, compared to 205,000 last month. So the numbers are basically the same. This shows that the miners might not really be planning to sell yet, but they've already loaded their bullets and are ready to respond to any changes in the market at any time. Looking at the miners' actual MRP, it's around $62,100. If Bitcoin stays above this price, it means miners aren't yet in a desperate situation where they're forced to liquidate everything. To sum up right now, miners have entered a phase of pausing to reflect on their situation. Their profits are thinning, their actions are becoming more cautious, and they're moving their holdings to exchanges, but they haven't actually started selling yet. So what about now? The trend is very straightforward. If the price rises, miners will keep holding onto their coins tightly, but if it falls below the MRP, miners could collectively start selling at any moment. So $62,000 is a very sensitive threshold for miners. The good news is that the market structure hasn't broken down, and Bitcoin still has a chance to rebound. It all depends on whether it can hold this key support level. Alright, please give me a like and turn on the notification bell. I'll help you stay updated with the latest crypto news, closest to the money every 24 hours. You're also welcome to join as a member. Monday through Friday, I'll share a small altcoin and a wealth tip with you, so you can try buying and experience trading for yourself. Let's look at the bigger picture. In these 2 recent corrections, last Friday and the Friday before that, both so-called Black Fridays, Bitcoin almost gave back all of its profits for the year. The market, you could say, has turned cold, as if it's entered an ice cellar. Now, expectations for an interest rate cut in December are heating up, and the warm breeze has returned. Bitcoin has broken through 90,000 again, so the whole market is debating whether it will continue to test the bottom or if a rebound has already started. So, while everyone is endlessly arguing about whether to go short or long, Texas has simply put real money on the table, making its stance clear. Stop arguing. I'm going to be the first to buy Bitcoin.
Lee Bratcher, president of the Texas Blockchain Council, confirmed that the state government has officially launched its Bitcoin reserve plan and has already completed its first $5 million allocation to BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF, Upbit. He further emphasized that Texas's long-term goal is to move Bitcoin toward full self-custody, establishing an independent and controllable strategic reserve system.
We really work to ensure that Texas and the United States are the jurisdictions that come out on top when it comes to digital assets, right? So let's talk about how we do that. You know, a lot of technology was developed in Texas, but it was monetized in California, right? In Silicon Valley. We don't want that to happen with Bitcoin and digital assets. So we've been working on this mission for the past 5 years.
At the end of January this year, the Lieutenant Governor of Texas made Bitcoin reserves a legislative priority for this year. In February, State Senator Charles Schwertner introduced Senate Bill 21, after which a series of legislative reviews moved forward rapidly. Ultimately, on June 20th, the bill was officially signed into law by the governor, and the first allocation of Bitcoin was completed just last week.
We have nearly 7 partnered mining farms in Texas, which I've shown you in previous videos, right? So Texas has unique advantages when it comes to energy, especially wind power. We can see that Texas is at the forefront of Bitcoin mining and is definitely benefiting from it. So this time, Texas took the lead over New Hampshire and Arizona by being the first to put up $5 million to buy Bitcoin. Although this amount isn't huge, some Bitcoin whales might see it as just breakfast money, right? Its symbolic significance is enormous. It's essentially the government stepping in and sending a clear message to the market. Bitcoin, we officially support you. The market is really cold right now, and what it lacks most is confidence. There was a huge piece of news this morning. A whale transferred 1,163 Bitcoins. No one knew where they were going at first, but after some digging, people checked the blockchain and found out it was SpaceX under Elon Musk. This morning, there was a massive transfer. $100 million worth of Bitcoin was moved. The reason everyone is so nervous is because SpaceX has sold coins during bear markets before. They have a track record. So the community's first reaction to these 1,163 Bitcoins was, that's it, Elon's cashing out. But if you think about it calmly, you'll realize that Musk has only publicly admitted to selling coins once, in 2022, when Tesla cut 75% of its Bitcoin holdings. As for the other big on-chain transfers, like the ones in July and October, none of those coins ended up on exchanges. It's more like a routine security upgrade, like changing the locks or moving house for better safety. So this time, is Musk's hand already on the sell button, or is it just routine maintenance? Everyone's letting their imaginations run wild. This whole plot is honestly more exciting than a TV drama.
On-chain data shows that SpaceX split and transferred 1,163 Bitcoins worth $100 million into 2 brand new wallets. Similar transfers in July and October this year also did not go to exchanges, so they didn't put selling pressure on the market. Considering the current trend of financial institutions and publicly listed companies continuously increasing their Bitcoin holdings, most people believe this is more like a routine asset restructuring or security upgrade by SpaceX. Rather than a sell-off, if this isn't in preparation for selling, it further indicates that SpaceX is still maintaining a long-term strategy of holding Bitcoin.
All right, so after this transfer, SpaceX is still firmly holding 6,095 Bitcoins, which is about $554 million. Don't forget, at its peak, Tesla once hoarded as many as 28,000 Bitcoins. But during the big bear market in 2022, they slashed 70% of their holdings and then stayed silent for 3 years. So starting from July this year, have you noticed that SpaceX has resumed its moving house mode, gradually transferring funds from old wallets to new addresses? In the previous moves, they didn't sell any coins, so this time we can reasonably assume that Musk is just conducting a routine security check, not selling coins to crash the market. Here, there are legends of getting rich overnight. and there are also carefully scripted scams. This is a dark forest developing in chaos, yet it also nurtures the spark of hope leading to the light. The destination of faith is freedom. The endpoint of consensus is equality. BitcoinTV, guiding you through the fog to see the future, and helping us all gradually become wealthier together. Wall Street suddenly changed overnight. Solana saw a wave of dog-themed coin ETFs being listed in quick succession. Did the SEC open a VIP channel or something? Arbitrum officially announced it would be acquired for billions of dollars, yet the very next day, Solana wallets were hacked. Will the multi-billion-dollar acquisition fall through? Although crypto prices are pulling back this November, ETFs are making a lot of noise. Solana, Ripple, Dogecoin, these things that the old financial bigwigs used to scoff at as mere speculative toys, are now all making their way onto the official stage of the NYSE and NASDAQ. It's strange that these ETFs have been approved. It took 10 years for the Bitcoin ETF to finally get the green light, but these altcoins are moving fast. Why is that? The reason is that in September, the SEC revised the general listing standards. It's like giving all compliant altcoins a VIP fast pass. In other words, as long as you've been trading on the futures market for at least 6 months, or if there's already a similar ETF issuer, you can skip the complicated procedures and go straight to issuance. What's even more aggressive is what the issuers are doing. They seem to have removed the delay clause. They cited a loophole in the 1933 Securities Act, which forces the SEC to respond within 20 days, either explicitly reject it or let it pass. If you don't explicitly reject it, it automatically takes effect. So you can see that the regulators have already changed the playbook. Altcoin ETFs are going to become the new main characters in the future.
This round of the altcoin ETF boom is showing structural differentiation, with 6 Solana products leading the way. A total of $568 million has been attracted, firmly securing the top spot in capital inflows. Meanwhile, Bitwest's product, which utilizes a staking dividend mechanism, managed to attract funds against the trend even as Bitcoin faced sell-offs. It demonstrated a resilience that exceeded expectations, becoming the most explosive dark horse in this round of the ETF race.
In the last year, and we continue to expect those flows to be realized. So flows into year end and then flows for the next 12 months. That is really the key determinant of the bull case, but even the base case for both Bitcoin and Ethereum.
After XRP settled with the SEC, capital returned, with net inflows over $587 million across 5 ETFs. Although there was a short-term 7% drop, institutions kept entering the market, solidifying a long-term bottom. This is symbolic. On first trading day, volume $1.41 million US. First-time meme coins entered a compliant investment framework. Community consensus assets are going mainstream.
So if you look at the ETFs approved in November, like Solana, Ripple, and Dogecoin, let's take these 3 as examples and break it down. For instance, Ripple has a CEO, a PR company, and a foundation, right? Solana is also centralized, but has anyone ever seen a PR company or a foundation for Dogecoin or anyone who stands up for it? So Ripple and Solana have official backing. They have the American pedigree. But what does Dogecoin have? Dogecoin relies purely on its own strength. That's why the first 2 tokens ETFs will definitely skyrocket, while Dogecoin will slowly become the king, because Dogecoin is truly POW and completely decentralized. It relies on real strength. Now let's take a look at South Korea. South Korea basically plays with its own stablecoins behind closed doors, and their exchanges are self-contained, which is why the so-called kimchi premium exists, right? And Upbit is the leading exchange in South Korea, the undisputed top player in trading. Its parent company is called Dunamu. Recently, Dunamu has been looking to sell Upbit to a South Korean tech giant called Naver. Naver is planning to spend $13 billion to acquire the entire Dunamu, so this deal would basically represent half of the entire South Korean crypto market. So as soon as the news broke, everyone was excited. This was traditional capital getting ready to enter the crypto world. All the Upbit users and all the platform token holders were waiting to reap the benefits. But the celebration only lasted one night. By the next day, the story had turned into a suspense thriller.
South Korea's largest crypto exchange, Upbit, experienced a sudden security incident on Thursday after discovering a suspicious transfer of about $36 million from its Solana hot wallet at 4:42 a.m. The platform froze all deposits and withdrawals and began an investigation. Upbit said the issue was only with the Solana hot wallet. The cold wallet was unaffected. All assets were moved, and an on-chain freezing mechanism was used to minimize losses.
Fortunately, this time the hacker only took $36 million from Upbit. No big deal, right? Upbit has deep enough pockets and said, we'll cover all the losses out of our own funds. Users don't even need to fill out any forms. Just wait for the money to be automatically returned. And luckily, the Korean market is pretty closed off. At least it doesn't have much impact on the overall state of the crypto world. So people remembered that in 2019, Upbit was also hacked and lost $50 million. What's even more awkward this time is that the incident happened right when a major acquisition was about to take place. At such a sensitive moment, any hacking incident can affect the entire transaction. For now, both parties are putting on a calm front, and it seems like there's no intention to pull out early, but whether the offer price will change, we'll keep following up. All right, let's look at the news flash.
Musk is at it again on X. Crookimagine can now turn text directly into video, and even more powerful audio features and 10-second short video generation are expected to go live this weekend. It feels like they're about to start taking over the jobs of AI creators. The data is pretty sobering. Over the past 7 days, there's been a lot of hype online about various chains rising up, but in reality, only a handful have actually earned more than $100,000 in fees. Only 11 chains are left, and those able to rake in fees at the $1 million level are down to just 6. The rest are basically just along for the ride. Switzerland is moving forward with regulations. Whether you got in early or late, the CRF will still be written into law by 2026. But as for actually exchanging encrypted account information automatically with other countries, that won't happen until 2027. More importantly, they haven't even decided who they'll be sharing with, so for now, progress is basically on pause. Anshin Lens discovered that the government of Bhutan quietly transferred 160.35 ETH, about $483,000, to QCP Capital, and it looks like they plan to keep adding more. It's as if they're quietly increasing their stake and expanding their position. Suddenly, the market slammed on the brakes. News broke that the exchange had suspended all commodity futures trading, and even crypto futures like Bitcoin and Ethereum were locked away in the penalty box. This sudden halt left everyone stunned, with both the traditional and crypto markets freezing up at the same time. In the short term, the market is basically in a wait-and-see mode until things resume.
All right, today, Li Tang wants to say something to everyone who is going through a rough patch or has ever been through one. Haven't you noticed? When things are going smoothly, everything around you seems beautiful. When you face headwinds, you see human nature. Some people distance themselves, others draw closer. In tough times, you truly see who people are and you get to know yourself better. You may feel wronged or unwilling to accept things. Don't rush to fight back or prove yourself. What is a low point? It's like a sieve. It filters out false affection and insincerity, leaving only genuine feelings and true intentions. The ones who stay are the ones who are truly worth it. As for those who turn and leave, just let them go. The people who truly care about you will slowly come closer during your lowest moments. These are your benefactors. Of course, what's even more important is whether you can make it through. Many turning points in life begin at the very moment when it seems impossible to endure. So if you can hold on, it's like being reborn. If you make it through, you'll have the courage to usher in a brand new day. So you should be grateful for the low points in your life, because only when you're at your most vulnerable can you see how real the world truly is, including how genuine the people around you are. If you understand what I mean, give this a like. All right, that's all for today's program. Every day we'll help you sort through all the latest news about Web3. Here we've compiled the membership benefits for you. We hope you'll take a look. We also hope you'll consider becoming a member to support our channel and help us make it even more professional. Let's work hard together. Let's get rich slowly. See you tomorrow.